Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing really well. And I hope that you are not too hot because I see the weather stations and there's some places that it's just crazy how hot it is. I'm in Florida and we're getting kind of nice weather right now. Normal weather for March, which is usually like in the 70s, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. So usually spring in Florida is absolutely gorgeous, and that's pretty much why people stay here. But I don't know, because I think from May till December, it's pretty much in the 90s, and you're waiting for that, oh, is there going to be a cold front come through, and then sometimes it doesn't make it down here, and so, yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. So I wanted to come on and share something with you. My name is Leslie Wood, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor. And a lot of people probably don't know this about me, just my family. I probably should have shared it with friends, but I've never done that. So I've lost a lot of friends as a result of it. But I'm agoraphobic. And what that means is that basically you're afraid to leave your house. You're afraid to go outside. And it's not like I'm afraid something bad will happen to me out there. It's an unrealistic fear. And it could be like going to the grocery store. I would feel like people are staring at me and giving me weird looks or something, or I just, you just think things like that. It's all your own negative self-esteem. And I'm sorry, my girls are playing, but it sounds like they're fighting, but they're playing. And I do go out with my son. I mean, I'm okay to do that when he's with me. When someone I feel safe with is with me, I can go, if they pick me up. But a lot of my friends, I will tell you very sadly, a lot of my friends are no longer with us. A lot of them have passed on prematurely. And I've been retired since 2013 due to physical and mental health issues. And part of it was the agoraphobia. I just, it got really, really bad. They say after you've had chemo, if you go into chemo with an anxiety disorder, you will come out of it much worse. And I will say that is true. I don't like being this way. I wish I wasn't like this. But as far back as I can remember, this has been an issue for me. I know one time I was walking to kindergarten and a girl came running over and walking with me. And then she said, oh no, she forgot something at home. So she said, will you come back? Would you run home with me? And I said, okay. And I was worried I was going to be late. But and then she's like, oh, I'm having a birthday party tonight. Why don't you come? So, I said, okay. I always say yes, okay. I go and then I get a panic, But anyway, I went to my class that day. Back in the day, they used to be half days. So I went to my kindergarten class, and then I got home and I told my mom, and my mom didn't have time to go out and get a present. So she had bought me a brand new slip, and she said, why don't we wrap this up? This will be perfect for her. I mean, we were the same size, And so I went, but I was just like sitting in a corner of the couch, And I remember the mother coming over to me and saying, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. And she said, oh my goodness. She said, what is this? Look at this man. She's come running, help me, mommy, help me. Okay, stop, calm down. She's got a sweater on because I like to keep the house cold, so I keep her warm, and I keep Presley warm all the time because he's old. But Mary runs hot, so she's always super hot. So anyway, she said, do you want to go home? And I said, yes, please. And she says, I'll call your mom, and she called my mom and I went home. And I just wanted to be home. And that was pretty much, you could just kind of trace that throughout my life. I don't like going places where there's lots of people. If I do go, I'm uncomfortable. I sit in the corner. I remember I went to a friend's graduation party one time and sat in the corner, and nobody talked to me. And there was a priest there at the graduation, and he came over and he sat and talked to me for a while. So, and then after that, I just got up and I left because, I'm just not comfortable. It has been a lifelong struggle, and there are people that have said to my kids, which I don't appreciate that, my daughter and my son, friends that, I guess they're not friends, bad-mouthing me to my kids. And like, she never comes. She says she'll come and then she doesn't want to go and blah, blah, blah. Well, they just don't understand that I have agoraphobia, and I say, yes, I want to go because I do. I want to be there. However, I then get into, it'll take me, before I have a doctor appointment, literally like 2 nights before, I start having trouble sleeping. And so, the anxiety starts building and building and building. And then, so many times I've had to cancel appointments, and then they, it's ridiculous. It really is. So I do have a psychiatrist who treats me for anxiety, but it really hasn't helped. I don't like where we're living at all. I don't like this neighborhood. And there are a few really genuinely good people, but then there's also people that are just not. And the thing is that, it's hard for me to find people who have the same interests and beliefs and stuff. And I know that right now in this community, they have a Bible study on Tuesday. I forget if it's Tuesday or Thursday night, but it's one of those nights. And I would love to do that. But again, I got to get out the door. I have to go someplace. And that is very hard for me. Very hard. It's like crazy. So I have such a hard time. And I guess that's, my dogs are so important to me because they're my friends and they're always with me and they love me, and I love you, Minnie, huh? Do you love me? Yes, you do. You're so cute. She's such a cute little girl. Look at this little girl. Oh, I love you. She's very sweet, and she's also my emotional support dog. I registered her as the emotional support dog because she's the one who picks up when I'm not feeling right. If I'm feeling anxious or nervous about something, or if I'm crying about something, she's the one to come over and give me support. and to come over and give me a hug or, kisses and cuddle up to me. Really, she's amazing. And she's just turned 1 year old. She's amazing. Now, Mary is will come over and cuddle up to me, but not at any particular times, just I guess when she wants to. And I used to have my dog Joey, my golden retriever, and he and I were so close that he was my emotional support dog. And so, I used to take him with me when I would go places and stuff. And it really helped a lot having him. And then he died early from cancer. And it's just been 2.5 years, I'd say, now. So, and Minnie really has a lot of his personality. She's just that she's still a puppy and she's kind of wants to play. She's a little more energetic and stuff. Joey was never energetic. He was huge, 140-pound golden, and he was a love, I'm telling you. And he would just sit with me all the time. He was just, he was afraid too. He was afraid of thunderstorms. And so he would lay on top of me. And I literally could barely breathe because you got a 140-pound limp dog on top of you. And he'd be drooling. I call for my son, get me a towel. And, he was just the world to me. And he really was my best friend. He really was. And I know one time I was walking through the house. I slipped. I fell. I fall a lot because I do have something wrong with me, balance issues. They've just ruled out it's not my ears, so I have to go get an MRI on my brain and, all of that. And, of course, my daughter said, well, we've all been waiting for this scan on your brain. But, yeah, I had a scan. She likes to tell me I've got Alzheimer's or I'm getting dementia or something. So, I've had a scan. I don't have that. But anyway, they're looking more for, possible tumor or, some sort of growth of whatever kind. So, we'll see what happens. But the thing is, I have to go and get these things done. So it's very difficult for me to get out the door. But I have a doctor appointment this week, and now I've already been there to this particular, and I'm changing to a new doctor. I didn't like the other, primary care, didn't like him. So I'm switching over to this new one, and I've already been there because I was sick and I had bladder infection, so I went there. They said I could come in and that the doctor would prescribe. And she gave me something to go home with, but it wasn't working. And then a few days later, they got the culture back, and then she called in another antibiotic. And that was so shocking to me because this other place was so neglectful. It's like if you even tried to call to get a prescription refilled, forget about it. You weren't going to get it. You had to I had to go in there and be nasty to get a prescription. It's crazy how bad it is there. So to go to this place, and then I have this completely opposite wonderful reaction. And I'm so thankful for that. So, and also they specialize in senior care. And so I'm looking forward to, seeing what they're gonna, what they've got to say about everything. But, it's just, I have to live with this. There isn't any medication that's going to get rid of it. I have tried. I had a counselor I was seeing for like 15, 18 years, but she moved out of the area. And since then, I've not found another one that I feel good with, And as a therapist myself, I understand that. You've got to click with the person. And if you don't click, then it's not going to be helpful. So, and they know when I go in that actually I've done now I do a lot of telehealth. So I don't have to leave the house, which is kind of bad in a way because it's kind of feeding into my already mental health issue. And I remember when we had COVID, and then everything was able to be delivered. And my daughter, she said, well, this is what you've been waiting for your whole life, something like this. And it's like, no, I haven't been waiting for this. I'd rather not be this way. But I've been that way, and there could be a lot of reasons why. I don't know why. Inherited, maybe. However, I was adopted, and I was at the orphanage for 5 weeks. Now, people might not think, oh, that's not a long time. But I probably was left alone, in my crib, probably fed and changed, and that was it, because these nuns where I was at, they're very busy. I understand that. But they probably had to let me cry a lot. I don't know. I had a friend, my dear friend, Marie, who's been gone over a year. And she used to say to him, she was a psychologist, and she would say all the time, Leslie, I know you have attachment disorder. And I believe her. And she thinks it was from that. I don't know. But my mom certainly thought so too. I mean, from early on, because she said I could never put you down. She said I'd have you in one arm and I'd be stirring and cooking with the other. And so I really was very fortunate to get her for a mother, because she was very good about taking care of me. And, she was very structured. She's OCD, personality disorder. So she was extremely, everything on schedule. And so that is comforting to someone has an anxiety disorder, because you can count on it. You can count on things always being the same. Surprises, I don't like. I don't like surprises. I don't like people that are wishy-washy. One day they'll be nice and friendly. The next day, give you the cold shoulder and walk on by like you don't exist. I don't like those people. I don't like to be around those people, because they just set off my anxiety, my sadness of having this disorder, and also just anxiety of I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. I'm still struggling with that. And I'm almost 66. I will be in a few days. And it's still a problem for me. After all these years, it's still a huge problem for me. My mom used to say, you always want everybody to like you. Not everybody can like you. Not everybody in the blah, blah, blah. And I know, rationally, I know all that's true. But mental health issues are based mostly on just, can't think of the word, that you are unrational. You have an unrational fear of something or an unrational belief about something. It's not a rational belief. It's not the truth. It's just how you see things. So living like this has been very difficult, and we are planning on moving. So hopefully we'll get our house up for sale in 2 weeks is what I would like. Got the real estate girl, very sweet. And what we're going to do is move into an apartment for a little while, because my son's job is an hour away. So we're going to move up by where his job is. And we're just going to save money and hopefully, then be able to get a house. We're just taking it one day at a time because we don't know what's going to happen in this country with the economy and everything else. So, and in Florida, house prices are insane. They have gone up so high. When I bought after my divorce, I bought a small house. I bought it for $70,000. My daughter, let me think. Maybe about 10 years later, I was moving out to a bigger house because I knew my parents, it was getting that time for them to come live with me. So my daughter bought that house, my house, and she paid $115,000. Now, if she were to sell that house, it's like $300,000. That's crazy. That's crazy for a house to go up that much. So we are going to kind of wait and see what's going to happen to our economy. And so I think being in an apartment might be a really good thing for me. It'll be hard, but, I will take the dogs over to the dog park, and maybe I'll meet some nice people, meet them down at the pool or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'll keep you posted on that. I'd like to meet some nice people, So we'll see how that goes. And I thank you if you stuck with me to the end here. I thank you for listening to me. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I've always known God is at my side. He's with me. And He loves me. And He watches out for me. So this is my life, and that's okay with me. His will is, it is all well with my soul. God bless you guys. May He just shower you with His love and peace. And, I love all you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. And I'll be with you again soon. Okay. God bless.